Hi all, welcome to i-tutor Academy. In today's session, we will start with Unit 9, Subsection 3 of MMPC 010, that is Economies and Diseconomies of Scale. And we have seen in the preceding section that larger plan will lead to lower average cost in the long run. And however, the beyond some point, successively large plan will mean a higher average cost. And exactly why is the long run average cost, that is LRAC curve U-shaped? What determines the shape of LRAC curve? This point needs further explanation. Okay, so it must be emphasized here that the law of diminishing returns is not applicable in the long run as all inputs are variable. Also, we assume that the resources prices are constant. So, what then is our explanation? The U-shaped LRAC curve is explainable in terms of what economists call economies of scale and diseconomies of scale. And economies and diseconomies of scale are concerned with the behavior of average cost curve as the plant size is increased. If LRAC declines as output increase, then we say that the firm enjoy economies of scale. If instead the LRAC decreases as output increase, and then we have diseconomies of scale. Okay, so hope you understood. And finally, if LRAC is constant as output increase, then we have constant return to scale, implying we have neither economies of scale nor diseconomies of scale, and economies of scale explain the down-sloping part of LRAC curve. As the size of the plant increases, LRAC typically decline over some range of output for a number of reasons. The most important is that as the scale of output is expanded, there is greater potential for specialization of productive factor. So this is most notable with regard to labor, but may apply to other factors as well. And other factors contributing to declining LRAC include ability to use more advanced technologies and more efficient capital equipment, and managerial specialization, opportunity to take advantage of lower cost, that is discounts for some input by purchasing larger quantities, effective utilization of byproducts, etc. But after some time, expansion of a firm's output may give rise to economies and therefore higher average cost. Further expansion of output beyond a reasonable level may lead to problems of overcrowding of labor, managerial inefficiencies, etc., and pushing up the average cost. The economies of scale and diseconomies of scale are sometimes called as internal economies of scale and internal diseconomies of scale, respectively. This is because the changes in long run average cost result solemnly from the individual firm's adjustment of its output. On the other hand, there may exist external economies of scale, and the external economies also help in cutting down products cost. And with the expansion of an industry, certain specialized fame also come up for working up the byproducts and waste materials. Similarly, with the expansion of the industry, certain specialized units may come up for supplying raw material, tools, etc. to the fames in the industry. Moreover, they can combine together to undertake research, etc., whose benefit will accrue to all fames in the industry. Thus, a fame benefits from expansion of the industry as a whole, and these benefits are external to the fame, and in the sense that these have arisen not because of any effort on the part of the fame, but have accrued to its due to expansion of industry as a whole. And all these external economies help in reducing production cost, and economies of scale are often measured in terms of cost output elasticity, etc. And EC is the percentage change in the average cost of production resulting from a 1% increase in output. So EC is equal to 1 when marginal and average costs are equal. This means cost increase proportionately with output, and there are neither economies nor diseconomies of scale. And when there are economies of scale, MC will be less than AC, that is both are declining, and EC is less than 1. And finally, when there are economies of scale, MC is greater than AC and EC is greater than 1, like that. Next is economies of scale, that is internal. economies. Real and pecuniary are two type of internal economies. And when quantity of input used decrease for a particular level of output, it gives rise to real economies. When large quantities of input are bought and large quantities of output are sold, there are saving in the cost of input and distribution cost due to bulk buying and selling. These savings are known as pecuniary economies. And next is real economies of scale. Production economies. Production economies arise from different factor of production such as, so this is production economies. Production economies arise from different factors of production such as, so this is the chart economies of scale. So please refer your IGNOU study material MMPC 010, and so you can refer this chart from your study material, so then it is more clear. Okay, so please go through your IGNOU study material. Okay, so next is labor economies. So large scale of production leads to division of labor and specialization, and leading to reduction to in cost and time. So due to large scale production, technical personnel acquire significant experience, and this cumulative volume has positive effect on production and cost. So leading to high productivity and lower cost for large level of output. And next is technical economies. Technical economies are related to fixed capital, which includes machinery and equipments. So specialization and indivisibility of machines and equipments leads to reduction in per unit cost, and machines have a property of indivisibility. So when large production is achieved, machine cost is divided between large units. So in large size frame, there are large machines which perform different continuous automatic process which save time and cost of labor, and different machines for different step are not required. And with increase in scale, general purpose machinery is left to set up more, which reduce its setup cost. And inventory economies, the main aim of inventories is to meet random fluctuations in supply and demand of input and output respectively, and when size of frame increases, these fluctuations are eased out due to large quantity of resources. And marketing economies, with increase in output, advertising, R&D, that is such a developing new model and design expenditure etc are spread over, and expenditure per unit decrease considerably. And managerial economies arise due to various reasons. Most important of them are specialization, decentralization, teamwork, experience, and modern managerial techniques. And transport and storage economies, storage cost decrease with the increase in the size of output, and but transportation costs keep falling for some extent, and then they became constant, making a L-shaped curve. And next is pecuniary economies of scale. Okay, so what is that? And these economies include all the savings and discounts obtained by fame because of its large size. And example, as raw material price become competitive when there is bulk buying, and bank offers lower rate of interest to large fame, and ultimately it comes down to lower cost of capital. And large fame have need of large scale advertising, and they are offered better price, and transportation costs turn out lower for bulk transportation, and labor cost can be saved by large fame, and if they attain a position which give then monopsony and power due to large size or prestige in market. Okay, and external economies are there. In external economies are those which are not particular to one particular fame, rather these are shared by all fame operating in a particular industry, and these are external to the fame as they do not arise due to the effort of any one particular fame, and they arise when whole industry expands. These can be economies of information, economies of concentration, and economies of disintegration etc. And these external economies also help in reduction of production cost, just like internal economies. And and this diseconomies of scale is there, and diseconomies of scale occur at a level of output where 1 unit increase in output leads to increase in marginal cost, and at this level diminishing return are there, and economies of scale are ruled out by diseconomies of scale. And diseconomies of scale generally arise due to human and behavioral problem instead of technical factors, and there are several reasons for diseconomies of scale. Some of them have been listed are: one is morale and motivation problem, and when the size of fame increase, more and more employees join the organization, which reduces personal connection with the owner and management, which lead to reduction in motivation among employees, and reduction in motivation lead to reduction in productivity as well. And communication problem is there, and in effective and properly defined communication channel are very important in the any business organization. And when a fame increases its size, there are increased layer of command. It may create problem in communication, and a message can be distorted or lost, so the formal communication of objectives and goals will also suffer in this scenario, which will lead to reduction in productivity. And activity 2 is here based on this subsection, so try to do it and it will help you. And next is learning curve. What is learning curve? So learning curve denotes the relationship between labor cost and additional unit of output. So it basically revolves around the concept that with practice workers improved, and ultimately cost per unit of producing one more unit of output decreases. So learning curve effect is this reduction in cost due to learning process of employees over a period of time. Okay, so that is the learning curve effect. And next is economies of scope. What are the economies of scope? And according to the concept of economies of scale, cost advantage follow the increase in volume of production, or what is called the scale of output. And on the other hand, according to the concept of economies of scope, such a cost advantage may follow from a variety of output. And example may many firms produce more than one product, and the products are closely related to one another. An automobile company produces scooters and cars, and a university produces teaching and research, and a firm is likely to enjoy production or cost advantage when it produces two or more products, and these advantages could result from the joint use of inputs or production facilities and joint marketing program, or possibly the cost saving of a common administration. Example of joint products are mutton and wool, egg and chicken, fertilizers, etc. Okay, so therefore economies of scope exist when the cost of producing two product jointly is less than the cost of producing a single product. And to measure the degree to which there are economies of scope, so we should know what percentage of the cost of production is saved when two products are produced jointly rather than individually. So here is saving equation is here SC, that is economies of scope. So please refer this equation from your study material. And activity 3 is here from this subsection. So today we will wind up here, and for more MBA series and other subsection we will discuss on next video. And for more MBA series, you just do like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you so much.
i-tutor Academy presents IGNOU MBA Complete Syllabus Coverage Classes for individual students, semester-wise subject with online flexible timing. For more details, contact on +91 623 827 1885.